us into our final section, the verdict. Josh, what are you thinking?
I feel like you've kind of, which really surprised me, I feel like you've already kind of alluded to this game getting the blessing. I feel like I want to hear that before I give you my...
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, I honestly very much expected to hate this game. Like, because I have not enjoyed Castlevanias in the past. Like, I definitely, when I was younger, like, really little, like, I played Castlevania on the arcade, just traveling with my parents, so, like, a arcade stick and all that thing, and it's been tough. You know, it's not a series that I expected to have any kind of positive mentions for, or, like, great memories of, but I forgot that I had purchased, and I don't even remember what made me do it, but I forgot that I had bought that Castlevania collection. And because I got it for so cheap and had the Castlevanias as a part of it, I think being able to just play it comfortably on the Xbox and everything helped with that, and it was smooth. Like, it felt like I was playing the old game. Like, I didn't feel like, you know, anything was really missing. And so, you know, would I consider playing it again for fun via remastered version? I clearly just did, you know, and I would play the other ones. I would definitely recommend buying that, especially if you have any affinity for Castlevania. I would recommend just getting that collection so you can have them all for probably $20 or less. And again, I had more fun than I thought. Like, I thought this was going to be an action platformer. I expected as such because I'm remembering the other games that I've played that were harder in that way. And so it was just different than I thought, and there were definitely frustrating times where I had to look up things, but everything else made sense. Like, I like feeling OP, so being able to freaking toast the boss at the end felt like all my hard work and the power-ups I had gotten were solid, you know, and I liked that I didn't have to go find everything like the Sacred Flame. Like, I was able to just play through without that. Like, so I liked that there was some variability there. You don't have to have the one path with the one weapon kind of a thing. So yeah, I think it still holds up. I think it's solid, especially if you're looking for something with a little more thought that you got to put into than just like the action. So surprisingly, I will give it the blessing.
Okay. If you recall my verdict diatribe for Castlevania 3, I said these games are fucking broken.
Yes.
And that is still true. Don't get me wrong. All the mechanics are identical. It's amazing, actually, how one for one they replicated the physics in all three of these games. They're exactly the same as far as physics go and movement and all that controls. But we've said it a million times already on this 4-hour fucking rant that this game is less predicated on sequences of dexterity. And that means less reliance on its broken fucking control set than in 1 and 3. And further stressed by complete omission of boss battles being important. Like, yes, you got to do the one, and you got to get the fucking cross, and you obviously got to be Dracula, but that's not what this game is about at all. And I don't think, you know, it's a stun lock away from just marking it. You know what I mean? And you've already almost certainly played Castlevania 1 if you're playing this game then or now, and you know that killing Dracula is a stun lock thing. Everyone knows and learned. I don't know how the fuck you beat Dracula in 1. That was like the worst boss ever. without learning the stun lock thing with the Eternal Flame, the fire thing. So, you know, it just takes all that fucking out of it, man. And you're just exploring a really cool, well built out world, you know? And yeah, I told early on in my playthrough, I mentioned to Ian that, like, how writing down, like, being forced to write down every single piece of dialogue and microanalyze it and really dig into it in a way that I just never would do playing the game on my own. You know what I mean? Like, being forced, that's why I love this podcast. It forces me to think about these games in a different way, in a more thorough way, even beyond just my natural inward of bullshit that is a lot. It's a lot, but sometimes it's still not enough for what these games are really thoughtfully, fully built game within these limited that's the thing too, is like they put these big ideas in these limited contexts, and that's where the problems lie. Is like they put this bigger idea in a thing that can't fucking support it without some thought outside of the video game itself. You know what I mean? And that I understand is hard for people to justify if you don't have the patience for it, especially then, but even now. So I get all that, you know, but this game deserves, and to its detriment requires, that you play it like that. And that, I don't know, man. It's just, this game gets the blessing because I am playing it in 2025 when I was finally built for it. You know what I mean? And like, that is...
That's fair.
8-year-old me, I don't know. Again, I was so fascinated by it that I clearly felt endeared by it. I tried it so many times as a kid and throughout my life. So like, there was something there. I knew there was something there. I'd always wanted. I've called it one of the white whales of this podcast. You know, the Metroid, games like that fucking require just so much that, again, it's just in the wrong wrapper to not be frustrated by it without some level of guidance or thinking in the right way, or being forced to be thorough enough to get everything that you need to get to play it the right way. So, yeah, man, it gets it now, and it's a shame that, I don't know, that I don't know, wasn't a better way to describe it to people or explain to people what they had to do to play it the right way. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't even like the syntax. It's not like you'd be like, oh, this is like a certain kind of game that you play a certain kind of way. I mean, I guess, you know, we've started to see RPGs by this point, or we're about to. Dragon Warrior drops either right before this or right around it. So these games are new.
That's very different from this.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
And that's the problem. The bigger problem maybe is that you have the action component of it. So you don't think you have to do those steps. Like in Dragon Warrior, there's clearly nothing to do but write the shit down and figure that stuff out. Here, if you're not, especially after it's so different than the first one in that regard, but so like it visually and seemingly control-wise and the feel of it, that you maybe don't think, that's probably the simplest way to put it. You said it yourself. I didn't fucking think I had to write this shit down. Yeah, you do. Just because you have to also whip things and move around in action sequences, you still got to hit pause and write this shit down. And that is just, kids not understanding that is just a shame, you know? And so, yeah, it gets the blessing, but I think maybe even a bigger determination, other than the fact that we've just given this game a double blessing, which I don't think anyone would have expected. Probably this is this podcast, especially the double blessing. Maybe me, but I don't think no way that our listeners think that fucking both of us would have given it this. I definitely don't think Ian thinks we're going to, and so that's interesting. But I think even more important determination was just whether or not for sure this game gives you all the tools required. And I mean, we kind of hit each one, but in a summation sense, dude, you were told by a fucking million NPCs in this game how important gathering 13 clues to defeat Dracula is, and those are in the mansions. And once you sort out that holy watering, and outside the mansions too, holy water and everything is part of the deal, you know to find those, you know how many you have to find, and you're supposed to fucking... You don't need all of them, actually, you said yourself. And we kind of determined that some of the more fucked up ones are not essential.
Thankfully not necessary.
But the ones that are essential, which you're hopefully going to find, while trying to find, maybe unsuccessfully, all 13, but at least trying to find 13, are the important ones, and getting those, and those are going to unlock the harder puzzles for you. So there's that, and all 3 crystals, dude. We are explicitly told the white crystal opened up Berkeley Mansion. The Yuba Lake puzzle is explicitly explained in the Algeba Woods clue. You are told to kneel at the lake. Connect the dots, motherfucker. The biggest one is the red crystal tornado at Deborah Cliff. We also debunked that. You were explicitly told by in-game copy where to go and what you need while you're there. It does tell you have to wait. That doesn't mean kneel, but you've learned that kneeling kind of means wait. You know, and there's only so many fucking buttons on this controller.
There's only so many things you can do.
There's only 6 fucking buttons, basically. I guess select and start 2 8 buttons, but whatever. And there's a lot of little shit, Dracula's nail breaking certain bricks, the holy water spamming, revealing a lot of the shopkeeps, deception by some townsfolk, etc. But all of that is well within the trial and error video gaming vernacular of the time, and or explicitly told to you in the manual. So, I'm sorry, 80s babies and retro heads alike, but while this game requires hard work and very thorough explanation, It is not fucking impossible without a strategy guide. And you are given the tools if you choose to put in the work to find them. And you can imagine how good it felt if you did back then. You probably felt like a goddamn king. Okay. So that's Simon's Quest 2, Jay. Any